Welcome back to the NTX Varsity Sports Network. My name's Bud Riley. Today we're here at Aledo High School, going to interview head coach Robbie Jones and see what he has to say about the 2025 season. All right, Coach, how's the summer been? We're getting close to it.
Yeah, I mean, summer's been great. Our kids coming off that loss last year in state quarterfinals, they have a little something to prove, and it's led to having a great spring. Off-season program went a lot better than it did the year before. And then summer, we saw summer attendance was a lot higher. And then our performance sports guy, Calvin Loftus, he said there was a big difference in the attitude of the kids this year. And I think that's from the fact that, they got a sour taste in their mouth from losing last year and want to right that ship.
So they got a little sour taste in their mouth. Yeah. That's the attitude the team has. Is there an identity that they're adopting coming into this year?
Yeah, it is. And, and then we have to come up with a theme every year. And their theme that they came up with is unfinished business. So, they're looking to, not let that happen to them again this year. And, so the plan is to go, every year 16-0, and that's their mission. Their goal is to make sure that happens this year.
So to start winning games, though, you need to have these positions kind of flattened out and ready to go by the time district play starts. You've got a QB coming in that was with the program last year but didn't get too much time. So how are you feeling with Nash in the position?
Yeah, I mean, we've really got two quarterbacks. Nash, of course, he got a couple of starts last year under his belt. He's a really good, solid quarterback, but we have a senior, Lincoln Tubbs, who played receiver last year. Lincoln committed to Air Force to go play quarterback, actually. So we have two quarterbacks, two capable quarterbacks, and we're going to be looking real hard at, the first couple of weeks, how each one of them moves the football team, and basically whichever one has more success in moving the ball, putting points on the board, that's the guy we're going to go with. So it could be either Lincoln or Nash right now. Of course, if Lincoln's not on the field at quarterback, he's going to be on the field at receiver.
Is that something you're looking to mesh out during district play or before the season starts?
We really like to kind of have it figured out after the first two non-district games, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Are there any skill guys on offense that you've seen these quarterbacks connect with, or do you think that they'll connect with during the season?
They should be able to connect with all of them. The problem we had in the spring, we had spring football, and 4 of our receivers were hurt. So, and it was kind of the top 4. So it was hard for them to really show during the spring, that they have the connection with those guys. But those guys have gotten healthy. I know they've been working with them, individually. So I feel like it's going to be a good fit for them.
On the other side of the ball, this defense has always been fast, pretty violent. So what are we seeing on the defensive side of the ball coming into this year?
Yeah, I mean, returning all 4 defensive line starters, that's big. We've got 2 bookends with Carson Dempsey and Cooper Cyphers. Those guys are solid football players. Both have been varsity football players since they were freshmen. And then in the middle, you got a 3-year starter with Decker Sanders, 2-time first-team all-district guy. And then Timon Meeks is exploded on the scene last year. He was the defensive newcomer of the year in the district. He's picked up 2 really big-time offers with Colorado and Miami, as well as, the other offers that he has. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with up front. And then, on defense, you also got to look at the guy that's going to kind of be the leader with Chase Wilburn. Chase Wilburn is the guy that has really stepped up and provided leadership through the spring and summer on the defensive side of the football.
So you're talking about those leaders. Are there any guys on offense and defense that, other than Chase, that are big in the locker room?
Yeah, besides Chase, I think Timon Meeks has kind of stepped up and become, even though he is a junior, he's a leader, amongst his peers. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Caden Finley's a returning captain. So we're look for him to provide a lot of leadership on offense. And then really Tubbs, I've already talked a little bit about Lincoln, but Lincoln has stepped up and has provided some leadership for us on the offensive side of the ball as well.
So now talking about your leadership, it's been years of winning and success here. After not quite getting to the pinnacle last year, how have things changed in your mind as a leader throughout this time?
Yeah, I've just got to try to make sure that the main guys are here and that they're providing the leadership for the team. My job is to really, get those guys to, buy in and do the things they need to do to lead the team. Because the best groups are led by the best football players. If your best team, your best players have to be here. They have to be putting in the work, and they have to be leading the team. And if they're not doing that, then I'm not doing my job of communicating with those guys the importance of that. And even though Caden wasn't full speed, during spring, he was here every day, and that says a lot to his teammates. That hey, look, the top dude on our team, the guy that's going to go to Notre Dame and play football on Saturdays, he's here and he's here every day, and so I need to be here every day and doing what I need to be doing.
So with this sustained success that y'all have had over the years, how do y'all continuously reload and not rebuild?
Yeah, I just think it's the fact that we've had good football players every year, and we see it every year. Okay, these are the guys, these are the ones, and then we got to take those guys, and they've got to not say, hey, I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna do the work with everybody else. So we've been able to do that. And the parents buy in. The parents see the importance of what we do. And so they push their kids to be here every day and to go through the track workouts in the spring, go through the powerlifting workouts after school. As long as we as a community have parents that want their kids to succeed, then we're going to be successful.
When it comes to the young guys coming up and reloading the team, how active are you with junior varsity and everything down there?
Yeah, I mean, our varsity coaches coach all the sub-varsities. Our varsity coaches are going to be working with the freshmen. This morning, we were out there at 5:15 a.m. Every varsity coach was working the positions with, not only the top freshmen, but every freshman. We've kind of got them split up right now. We had 84 of them out there, and so we'd have 40-something on defense, 40-something on offense. Working an hour with the defensive coaches, and then flip it over with the offensive coaches. And we're right now trying to identify who those guys are. Because it's hard for us when they have them in two different middle schools. It's hard for us to identify who the top guys are in middle school. So right now, we're trying to sort those things out with the freshmen, and then once we get started with the sophomores and juniors, we're working with the JVs as well. So the same coaches are working with them, from ninth grade on up. And then we got to also have our two middle school staffs up here helping us out.
So you got 80 plus kids showing out. That means you're a little kid from Aledo and you dream about playing for this team. What does it mean to have the community support behind y'all like that?
Yeah, it means a lot to us, and that's one of the things that we try to do. We try to hold up the standard for the community. We are a community of winners, and so we've got to hold that up. We take, pride in that, and then we also realize that, hey, all these little kids, all these however many Pee-wee teams are out there, they all put on the uniform and it says Bearcats across the front. And then that's what they want to be when they grow up, is to be one of those Bearcats out there on Friday night. And we've got to make sure that, we keep the standard and make sure that we're out there supporting those kids. We had a 2nd through 6th grade camp a couple weeks ago, and the camp started about the same time our performance course, strength and conditioning, ended. So I encouraged our kids, hey, come out, see these kids, let them see you, and you're going to brighten their day, and they're going to want to say, hey, look, I want to be just like that guy one of these days.
So keeping the standard, that means you guys need to keep making deep playoff runs. What kind of goals have y'all set for this specific season to get there?
We want to go 16-0. That's always the goal. Of course, we don't always have that. We're going to have years where, maybe we're not as strong as we have been. But when we have an off year here at Aledo, it's going to be, one of those 12-2 years. That's what we've got to make sure happens. And The goal this year is to go 16-0 and win a state championship. Preseason rankings, Dave Campbell has us #1 preseason. There's other preseason rankings that have us below Denton Ryan and Highland Park. But I think our kids have put in the work, and now they got to go out and prove it that they can go do what we've set out to do, which is go 16-0.
So you said they're taking on the identity of unfinished business, but with all these expectations, how do the guys in the locker room stay focused on just winning a ball game?
I think, the fact that, we fell short last year has helped them to focus a little bit. We'll take it week by week. We don't overlook any opponent. We're going in right now already looking at Denton Guyer. That's kind of the focus has been, hey, let's get ready for Denton Guyer. They kind of threw some things at us a little bit different last year. We had some special teams mishaps. So the kids have, our deep snappers are making sure that, hey, we're working on the deep snapping. Our punters are working on punting. And we're going to go into it and we're going to have a big-time focus the first couple of weeks on our special teams to make sure we don't have a block punt for a touchdown. We dropped a snap, on punt, which led to another field goal. So we gave them 10 points, in that phase of the game. So we're going to make sure that we don't do that this year.
You guys have had a lot of skewed victories, just beating teams down. What's the benefit of having one of those close games where you have to grind it out?
Yeah, the close games make you, grind it out and make you play for 4 full quarters, which, puts you in a different shape, going down the road. One of the problems we had, I think, in that last playoff game last year was we had gone – I think it was 5, maybe 6 weeks where our starters didn't play in the second half. And then you get to the state quarterfinals and you go in at halftime with a lead and come out the second half. My starters weren't used to going out and playing. They were used to being done. So we got to make sure that when we have those tough games like we're going to have with Guyer, we're going to have with Lancaster, those first 2 football games, that, hey, this is the way we've got to be when we get to the Denton Ryans and when we get to the playoffs.
Just to wrap things up, is there anything you want to say, people from Aledo listening or any other listeners in here?
No, I mean, the Aledo people, come out and support your kids. That's don't just come out for the big games, come out for all of them. Our kids have put in a lot of work over the summer. They're ready. They're wanting to come out and right the ship, and get things going.
All right, we'll see you at Jerry's World.
All right, that's the plan.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Big thank you to head coach Robbie Jones here at Aledo High School. We had a great chat about the upcoming season. And as for next time, you can catch me on the NTX Varsity Sports Network. My name's Bud Riley.